We've done this a bit already, but I want to go back over this. Finding the equation if we're given a point and a line. Okay. Well, sometimes it's super easy to find the y-intercept because it'll go on to a perfect point.
So wherever the first number is, that's when you put a point.
Wherever we hit the y-axis is our y-intercept. So we're here and here. Where you hit the y-axis is your y-intercept. Remember, we've got y equals mx plus b. And b is the y-intercept. And this is where you cross the y-axis. Okay, and m is the slope. Okay, so finding b is finding the point where we cross the y-axis. So in this case, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, so b is 4.
Okay.
And here we're 1, 2, so b is negative 2. Okay, so that's the first step, is to find that y-intercept. If it's a perfect point. Now, if it's not a perfect point, we're going to have to do some other things. But for right now, these are at perfect points. And again, to be a perfect point, the line has to cross through a crosshatch right here. This is a perfect point. This is not a perfect point.
Okay.
Okay. Now I need to find, I've got b, I need to find m. So I can go from this point to this point. To get from here to here, I go up 2. So 1, 2, and then over 1. So my slope is 2 over 1, which is just 2. So the equation of this line is 2x plus 4. M is being 2, b is the 4. Now to get from this point to this point, I have to start by going down first. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So because I went down first, I'm negative 4 over 5. So I have negative 4/5 x, and then b was negative 2, so minus 2. On these graphs, I was given perfect y-intercepts. But when I come here, look, here's my y-intercept. I don't know what number that is. It's between 2 and 3, but I don't know what it is. So I have 2 points, but I don't know my y-intercept. Okay, so we're going to have to learn how to do this first. So do you want to do it with the picture or without the, well, no, we'll do it without the picture. Okay, first I got to find my slope. I go up 1 and then over 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, right? So my slope is up 1 over 4.
There's 2 points.
Pick either one.
It looked like there's two dots in that.
I just didn't draw it well.
Oh, okay, no.
Yeah. So let's pick one. We can use either negative 1, 2 or 3, 3.
3, 3.
Okay. Okay, this will be x. This is y. This is m. I don't have b.
I'm confused right now. I don't even know what you're doing.
Okay, I don't have b. I don't have my y-intercept. So I've got to try to find b.
So the y-intercept would be in the bottom?
The y-intercept is going to be right here. But because it's between 2 lines, oops. Do you see that? It's between 2 spots, so I don't know what it is. So I have to find it. So I pick a point. You can use either point. So step 1 would be to find the slope. Step 2 is to pick either point. And it doesn't matter which point we pick, it'll give us the same equation. So you can pick either one. You just pick the one you like better. Okay? Now step 3 is we're going to plug x, y, and m. And then we're going to solve for b. So we're going to find b. Okay, so we're going to use the point 3,3. So I've got y equals mx plus b. Okay, y is 3, m is 1/4, x is 3, I don't know b. Okay, so y, m, x. We still have to find b. Okay, now 4 doesn't go into 3, so I have to multiply these together. So I get 3 is equal to 3/4 plus b. I want to subtract 3/4 from both sides. Well, what's 3 minus 3/4?
2 1/4.
2 1/4, I can do it that way. Or, if that's not good, okay, I have 3 is equal to 3/4 plus b, right? And I want to subtract 3/4 from both sides, but I don't really know how to do that, let's say. I can turn 3 into something with a denominator of 4. So I'm going to multiply it by 4. 3 times 4 is 12, so this gives me 12/4. So you can take any whole number and turn it into a fraction with any denominator you want. You just pick the denominator. So like, hold on a sec. So for example, in this case, I want 3 to be something fourths so that the denominators match. So I do 3 times 4, and that gives me 12, which is my new numerator. If I wanted it to be a denominator of, pick a number.
5.
Okay, 5. I would do 3 times 5, which would give me 15, and that would be my numerator. So
And then so
15
the number that goes on top is always, like the number in the bottom is always going to go
times the, yeah, because here's what happens. If I want to subtract, let's say 3/7, I need to know how many sevenths is this. So I do 7 times 3, that's going to be 21/7 minus 3/7. Now these can subtract.
Those can't. The denominator stays the same, right?
The denominator stays the same, but 21, they had to match. So I can do 21 minus 3, which is going to give me 18. So now when we come back here, I've got 12/4 because 3 times 4 was 12. So 12 minus 3 gives me 9/4. And you can use either one of these. These are the same. I don't care which one you use. So my equation of this line then, I had m, and now I have b. Which one do you want to use? 2 1/4 or 9/4? Okay. We're not given a picture, we're just given a point and a slope. Okay, but it's the same process. This is x, this is y, this is m. What I'm missing is b. So it's the same steps. I'm going to plug in I'm not fine. I'm going to say solve b for b. And then number 3 is going to be to plug m and b. And this is the answer. Okay, so what we're going to do is it's always y equals mx plus b. For now, anyway. I have x, I have y, I have m. So I'm going to plug those in. Y is 1, m is 3, x is 2, plus b. So I get 1 is equal to 6 plus b.
What is this? This is so confusing.
Okay, where did I lose you? Where did I lose you? Okay. I found b, so now I can give me the equation. here's M, here's B,
Okay.
so 3x minus 5. It's always using y equals mx plus b. And y equals mx plus b is our start. This is x, this is y, this is m. So that part okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then I'm going to plug them in. Y is 5, m is 3, x is -2, b is what I'm missing. 3 times -2 is -6.
Okay.
And then I want to get rid of the -6, so I add 6 to both sides. 11 is b. And now once I have b and I have m, so I can plug them in. And that is my final answer.
Okay.
So if we drew a picture of this line and we started at -2, 5, and then we gave it a slope of 3 and we drew the line, this would be its equation. If you have a fraction, well, we've already kind of done that, but we'll just do it again. So y is -2, m is 2/3, x is 6 plus b. In this case, we've gotten lucky. 3 will go into 6. So let's do bright yellow or bright green. What you want? Bright yellow or bright green?
Bright green.
Bright green, okay. 3 goes into 6 twice. And then 2 times 2 is 4. So I get -2 is equal to 4 plus b. Then I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. -2 minus 4, -6. So b is equal to -6. So that's the first part done. Now I have to plug them in. Y, plug in the 2/3 for m, x, and then -6 for b. I don't like this method.
Well, no, because that method just doesn't always work. Like you said, you got lucky.
Yeah, we got lucky. So you can do it this way, where you turn 6 into 6/1, multiply straight across, and you get 12/3, which gives you 4 in this case. So if this method works better, that's fine. You can do that too. If they don't divide this method way, let's say I do 2/3 of 5, you just multiply those two. So however you want to do it. There's more than one way to multiply fractions. I mean, so you can multiply, if you're doing a fraction times the whole number anyway, you do the numerator times the whole number, and that's your new numerator, and just keep the same denominator. You can put it over 1, multiply, and then reduce if possible. You can pre-divide if it'll divide evenly. So however it makes sense for you. I'm not one of those people that I look at the paper and go, oh, I've got my, oh wait, we are going to divide evenly, sorry, x, my y, and my m. I lied. Sometimes I do that. So y equals mx plus b, so 3 is 1/2 of 8 plus b. Well, what's half of 8?
4.
So 4 plus b, subtract 4. And b is going to be -1.
Okay, wait a minute, like 60. Okay.
It's the positive.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yep.
Okay. Then I plug them in. N is a half.
Wait. I'm gonna get it.
Okay, where did I lose you? Is this part okay?
What did you
Here's my y.
uh-huh.
Here's my m. Here's my x. What I don't know is b.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so then half of 8.
You divided them?
Mhm.
Because you subtracted?
Yeah. So if I want to do 1/2 times 8, I can do 1/2 times 8 over 1,
Okay.
which is 8 over 2, which will give me that 4. Better? Okay. So then I subtract 4 from both sides. 3 minus 4 is -1. And then I plug in my half and my -1. And so this is my equation.
You don't put the x as 8?
No, because what we're looking for is the equation. This is only one point on the line.
Okay. So you
This
don't put
equation
it-
could tell us every single point on the line. So the y's and the x's can change as we move along the line. So we'll start with our setup. I've got my x, I've got my y, I've got my m. So I have -2 is equal to 5/3 times 5 plus b. Okay, so 3 won't divide into 5, so I'm just going to come over here. 5/3 times 5 over 1, that's going to give me 25/3, right? So I have -2 is equal to 25/3 plus b. Now from here, I'm going to show you two ways to do this. We can keep the fractions in and work with the fractions, or we can get rid of the fractions. So I'm just going to rewrite it. Okay. To keep the fractions in, I'm going to subtract 25/3 from both sides. But I need to figure out how many thirds this is. So -2, if I multiply 2 by 3, it's going to give me -6 thirds. Okay, so I have -6 thirds minus 25 thirds. So that's going to be -31 thirds is equal to b. Okay, but let's say you don't like that. You hate working with fractions. It's just crazy and intimidating and you don't like them. What I can do is I can get rid of the fractions. To get rid of this fraction, I'm going to multiply everything times the denominator, so times 3. Okay, that'll give me -6. These 3's will cancel. That's why we use the denominator, and then that becomes 3b. Okay, so now I have no fractions. I can subtract 25 from both sides, and I get -31 is equal to 3b, but I don't want to know what 3b is. I want to just have b. So I divide by 3, and I get b is equal to -31 thirds. So as you can see, I get the same answer either way. I can get rid of the fractions, I get the same answer, or I can just work with the fractions, I get the same answer. So however it's more comfortable for you. And then we got to plug it in.
So whatever the fraction is, whatever's on the bottom, you times everything by them?
Yes.
So if it was like 25 over 7, it'd be
I'd
like
multiply
7
everything by
times.
7. Yeah. Here, let me pause this for a second, and then I'll do some more. That's some more. We're not going to solve these the whole way. I just want to show you how to clear the fractions. So, like, let's say I have 5 is equal to 13/5 plus b or something. Okay. I want to get rid of this denominator because I don't want to deal with the fraction. So I multiply everything times 5. No, you don't have to unless you want to. Those will cancel, and you get 25 is equal to 13 plus 5b. Okay, and now you have no fractions until the end again. And it doesn't matter what the numbers are. Well, I don't know what I was even trying to write there. Okay. No, I'm not solving it all the way. I'm just showing you how to clear the fractions. Just to make sure you're comfortable with that. So here's my denominator 7. So I'm going to multiply everything by 7. Okay. And when I do that, I'm going to get negative
Why
3.
can't you just multiply that like that? 7 times 3.
It's 21, 14 plus 2.
Your brain is like,
What happens if you have two fractions? Let's say I have 3/4 is equal to 4/3 plus b. I can't just multiply by 4 because that won't clear the 3. And I can't just multiply by 3. No, I have 12 in common. So when that happens, I multiply by their common denominator. So 12. Okay, and then what happens here is 4 goes into 12 3 times, and 3 goes into 12 4 times. And so I get 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16. And I can still get rid of the fractions. So it does, you can just multiply by the common denominator. 2/5 is equal to 1/3 plus b. My common denominator is going to be 15. Five goes into 15 3 times. 3 goes into 15 5 times. So 3 times 2 is 6. 5 times 1 is 5. Okay, so you can get rid of the fractions no matter what if you choose to. Okay, we've been given a point and a slope. We need either m or b to be able to solve for both of them, right? But what if we don't have m or b? Well, you could graph it, but you don't have to. We have to find m first. We can use that formula that we've learned to do so. So first we'll find m. We'll just call this x1, y1, x2, y2. So 4 minus 1 over 2 minus 3 gives me 3 over negative 1. So my slope is going to be negative 3. Okay. Then I'm going to use either point. And m to find b. Okay, following the steps that we've used before. So which point do you guys like better, 3, 1 or 2, 4? 2, 4? All right, so we're going to use 2, 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my y equals mx plus b. So 4 is equal to negative 3 times 2 plus b. So 4 is equal to negative 6 plus b. Add 6 to both sides. 10 is b. And then 3, we're going to plug those in.
when are we having a test on this?
When we finish it all.
Oh, okay, so you don't ever have like a set date or nothing? Oh, okay.
So we're going to find the slope first. So I've got y, x1, y1, x2, y2. So negative 6 minus negative 2 over negative 5 minus negative 4. And don't forget these minus and negatives become positives. So I get negative 6 plus 2 over negative 5 plus 4. So that's going to give me a negative 4 over a negative 1, which is a positive 4. Okay, so we've got either the giant plus or the happy, either way, negative, negative, positive. Okay, we've got slope. Which point do you want to use? 4, 2 or 5, 6?
4, 2 is smaller.
Okay, so y is negative 2, m is 4, x is negative 4 plus b. So negative 2 is equal to negative 16 plus b. Add 16 to both sides. Negative 2 plus 16 is 14. And then finally, I have my equation. It's beautiful.